Hello, my dears. Now let's come to discuss the function scope. So, function scope actually tells us the effect of variable declaration and writing different variables, function and function variables, calling function from different places inside or outside the function, and then obviously the console log, okay, that prints actually the data. So suppose we have a function abc. For example, we say let x is equal to 5 and we print this console.log of x. So if we see, if we run, nothing prints because writing just function is not enough, but rather we should call this function. So we will write abc. Okay, so if you see, now it's 5, but if we call it inside, so it will be it will generate an infinite loop. How? Because it will call this function and then it will print and then call back. Okay, so it is useless to write here. So this is okay. Now if instead we write this statement here, we call the function, so inside which is x value, and we print it here. So what will be the result? Oh, not defined. This means this is not enough. And if we cut it, still. Why? Because the function is called and the value is 5 is copied to x, but the scope of this x is inside the function, while this function print the value of x. So this means the scope of this x is inside the function, while this console.log print x value which is outside the function. So rather than here, if we for example write it here, for example, okay, and we cut it, so it's print 5. So this means this x actually contain this value which is defined outside the function. But if we write it here and we say 3, again it will print the 5. Why? Because it contains this 5. Okay, so what does let show? Let show declaration. So here we declare x inside this function and we declare x outside the function. So this will access this one. If we print, if we write it here, so now the result will be 3. So if this console.log is written inside the function, it will print this x value and it will print this global x value if it is written outside. Now if we remove the word let, now what will be the effect? Now the result will surprise you. Now instead of 5, it can print 3. It contains 7 and it contains 2. So it should print 7, but it is now printing 2. Why? Because we have removed the let. So this means we are not declaring x, but when this function is called abc, so now x value change So x value is initially declared as a 7. It is either declared as a 7 or not declared, but now 2 is copied into x. So this means this x is not initialized as a new x variable, but it exists before and its value is changed. Okay, so when this function is called, console.log x, so this means this will print this value. But what if we remove this function? We remove this function. Now what will be the result? Now it's 7. Why? Because function is not called. Function is written but not called. So if function is not called, so this means the value of x not change. It is remain 7. So let's start. For example, we say let x equal to 7. So in x contains 7. Then console will come here, compiler will come here. Here we have removed the function calling, so x will not change. But if we call this function, so when initially compiler come to this line, x will contain 7, then function will be called and value of 2 will be, x will be changed. Okay, now it will print the 2. But if we write here let x is equal to 2, it will again print 7. We further little bit bring changes. We copy here and we paste it above. Now first 7 will be copied to x, x will contain 7, and then this x will be printed. So 7 will be printed, then function will be called, and then x will contain 2. So the first value will be 7 and the second value will be 2. And if we copy it again, so the new here these two will print value 2.